everyone is raging about the new series Narcos, and it made me think about, well, what is the real situation with DEA agents? Because recently they've been under a lot of criticism about how the organization, Margaret, actually deals with misconduct of agents. And it's scary what they found. Thank you to a Freedom of Information Act, they actually found internal logs about how the punishment is served for those agents that get involved in misconduct. Check this out. From the 50 employees that the Board of Professional Conduct recommended to be fired, only 13 actually got fired. We're talking about, in some other instances, we're talking about only 6% of those who deserve a punishment actually gets it.
We need to point out, we're talking about serious misconduct, like sex parties with prostitutes funded by drug cartels in Colombia. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about speeding or perhaps cheating on a form. We're talking about
or internal conflicts. We're talking about crime. The same crime. I mean, DEA is a cornerstone of the war on drugs. These guys should be white, pristine behavior, no marks on their file. Yet we have plenty instances of criminal behavior. In this one case, these guys, like you mentioned, go to Colombia with drug money, boom, sex party with some hookers, because why not? We are the DEA and we can pull it off.
Funded by the cartels.
They did get fired, but only because of the amount of press that this situation happened. But the critics say this has been happening for decades. We have one of the most recent cases is one of the college student. $4.1 million were granted to him. His name is Daniel Chung. He was arrested, never charged with anything, and left in a cell for 4 days, no water, no food, just forgotten. Then someone found it, and they couldn't even know who he was. He had no admittance papers or anything. So now he was granted $4 million. In another case, there's the human resources official actually blocked on the punishment to this guy who was threatening his girlfriend to release a sex tape that they did to his daughter.
Oh,
that level of behavior,
revenge tapes. That's terrible.
It's awful. It's awful, and yet they don't get punished. Now we're talking about this other guy. The names obviously they're omitted, but we have an investigation where this guy was found guilty of distribution of drugs that he seized, and he was recommended to be fired. The human resource officer said, you know what, I think 14-day suspension of pay is a better punishment, and that will do it. But we see that there's a systemic problem of corruption within the agency.
You can see how it happens.
That it's just a revolving door.
All of this money, they seize all of these drugs. They have a lot of authority. Agents on the ground, DEA agents in particular, they have a lot of discretion, a lot of authority. You can see how corruption would be a factor in a job like that. I mean, it's not like you're a paper pusher for the IRS. You're touching sexy, forbidden things, in these cases. I mean, you could kind of let yourself rationalize the bad behavior because there's so much temptation for them, I would think.
And one of the cases where temptation actually was one of the big factors was one of the latest cases where a DEA agent actually was involved in an investigation on a Silk Road type of market on the deep web, and he actually took control of the market and started benefiting from the Bitcoin mining trade going on, and he actually had a lot of money that would have been seized funnel into his personal accounts. He got fired. One of the few, but again, it's been happening for years. The Justice Department had serious concerns about the punishment that was served to those agents, part of 11,000 community of law enforced agents.
There are good guys too. We need to point out.
Of course they are good guys. Of course they're good guys. The problem is not the guys. The problem is the agency that has failed systems to punish those who commit crimes. Right. I don't want to blame or paint all of the agents in the same light. What we're talking is the mechanisms. Exactly. I think, and one of the main culprits of them being able to pull it off is this agency, the Federal Merit Systems Protection Board, an independent body that reviews federal disciplinary matters and can actually overrule an agency's punishment and bring them back, or transfer them to a different agency. Nothing happened, no charges. Your file just get hidden below. But we want to know your opinion, how you feel about the situation. Share it below in the comment section, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the Lib TV.